Hello, you thirsty artists. Thank you for coming and checking out the video. And make sure you subscribe, leave a comment. Don't forget to like, share, all that fun stuff. Enjoy the video.
Lucy, the most powerful being in the AAA Universe, she appeared 1 year ago. Out of nowhere, from a dimension no one can trace. No records, no origin, no answers. Every attempt to reach her has failed. She doesn't speak, doesn't respond. She simply observes, and the universe watches back.
What is up, guys? Welcome to the brand new revamp of the channel and this entire new project we're working on, the AAA Universe. So, what is the AAA Universe? Pretty much it is a collection of all of my characters that all take place, or that all exist in the AAA Universe, which is practically the main universe. There are other universes, but the AAA Universe is the one that most of these characters will exist in for now. The first character that we're starting with is Lucy. So this is going to be my first time kind of breaking down who she is and what she's about. So you can see I'm just kind of starting off the sketch right here. One of my favorite ways to sketch is just using just like a thicker brush, and then kind of building out the form of the character. And then once I'm done with that, then as you see a little bit later on, then we'll go into like adding details. But anyway, so a little bit about Lucy. You saw the little intro card at the beginning. So yeah, so Lucy is a very complicated character. She is very selfish. She's extremely selfish. You would not want to really interact with her because she's not human. No one knows exactly what she is. I do, but obviously I'm not, really sharing that yet because there's going to be some surprises and stuff. But anyway, no one knows exactly what she is. No one knows where she comes from. She's kind of a mystery. So practically in the AAA universe, there is somewhat of a consistency of the type of, beings that are a little extra, right? That have special abilities and stuff. But Lucy's power scale is pretty much off the charts. So practically, like, if a high-powered being were to enter the AAA universe, there's agencies that could detect, like, a power shift. And so that's practically what happened. So they kind of detected that she is extremely powerful, in like nothing else that they've ever seen, like ever, in their entire universe. So anyway, she's going to be a massive problem. So this is a drawing series. So we're going to be drawing a lot of characters from the AAA universe, and we're going to be building out the universe. So Lucy is the center point. Lucy is the problem of the AAA universe, and as time goes on, you guys will see more and more of why I say she's a problem. So right here, you can see where I'm starting to add in like the little details. For me, this kind of works a little bit easier because I like painting. Sometimes when I do line work, sometimes it frustrates me. So I like doing the underlayer first. A lot of times, like you're seeing with the paint layer, the paint layer, and then adding the sketch layer on top. So you can see that's what I'm doing right now. So we're just kind of sketching in the details of her hands and all of that good stuff right there. A little bit more about Lucy. Lucy is, like I said, she is the most powerful character. But if I had to like kind of give you something for context, so like in this universe, she is like Superman, but she's way worse. She's not necessarily good or bad, but she honestly just kind of wants to be left alone. There's some reasons for that, but we'll go into that a little bit later. But yeah, so right here, just kind of adding in a little bit more darker tones like on her hair. I really like building out the drawing like this. Starting with like you see like the skin tone, and then we're doing like the dress. Starting with just a few little tones just to kind of start building out the drawing. So that's a lot of times it's like what I like doing. A little bit of highlights that you're seeing, like we're putting like right here on like her leg, and then also to a little bit of shadow that you can kind of see, like skin tone shadow, just really kind of filling it in. The thing is you can always go back and clean up. Like you can always clean up the work no matter what. It's super, well, I don't know if I should say simple, but it's pretty fun. Now right here, this is kind of like I like my little method for getting like different tones so I can apply it to the entire character. Now you would want to duplicate the character before you do this. So you won't want to do this on your actual layer. You duplicate that character and then you can play around with the coloring. I do this a lot to kind of help with, skin tones and highlights. And then a lot of times I'll use the eraser to kind of start erasing little spots and kind of trying to blend it all together. So here you see we're adding a little bit more detail in on her eyes just to make it stand out a little bit more. I really think that this type of version of sketching for me is a lot like, it kind of feels more like clay, like you're working with clay. And then you're adding a little bit of highlights here, or not, a little bit of blush right here on her nose and all that stuff. And then we'll actually kind of blend this together, kind of feather it out a little bit, like so it's not so harsh. Here on her eyes and her lips, we got to bring all of this stuff together just a little bit. And pretty much this series, this is going to be a couple of, maybe multiple parts. We'll see how much we get done in the second video. I don't foresee this being like a super, super long series with this one character. The entire series of the AAA Universe, like that's just what the YouTube channel is right now. And as you guys see more time go on, you'll start to see like how everything really blends together. You'll be like, oh, okay, I see. So now she's looking a little bit better here. Kind of filling in these areas, making them dark. We're going to make her dress a little bit darker. She's starting to look more animated now, like she's starting to come to life a little bit more. It will be really interesting once I start introducing other characters to you guys too, and seeing like their position and like where they fit into the universe and what they think of Lucy. It'll be interesting to see which characters end up being your guys' favorite characters. Also to locations, because this series is not just limited to just creating characters, but this is it'll be locations as well. But this is also like we're still doing drawing videos, like I'm still sharing with you like my techniques as we're drawing, but it's an overall story that we're going to be telling through everything, all kinds of mediums here on the channel. So you can see I'm adding some highlights right here on her hair, which is pretty cool. So this is going to kind of add that kind of little shine, little sheen kind of look. So we blur it a little bit and then drop the opacity to blend it in. And then here you see you changing the background color, because once you start adding the highlights, you don't really want like white, because you want to be able to see what you're doing. So in my mind, there's kind of like an overhead light kind of above her a little bit. So I kind of want to put an emphasis on that, like here on her knee, putting a little bit more of the highlights so you can see. Highlights are literally everything right here on the bracelet. And then here at the top of her hair, we'll add a little bit here, add some effects here on the dress, the dress. Adding these ones to make it look like there's some wrinkles. And then you'll see we're going to drop the opacity to blend them in, because you don't want them to be too harsh. And we're going to do the same thing again. Remember, always duplicate your character when you're doing this. Don't do it on the actual layer. This is kind of a fun way to kind of play around with different colorings for what the character could look like. So as you see, now we've got this kind of really nice look. I think she's coming together quite really good, if I might say so myself, which I may, considering that I drew it. But yeah, these videos here right now. This one of my favorite parts is like adding in the extra light. So like here on her dress to actually kind of make it look like, like it's actual fabric or wrinkles and all this stuff. I love doing this kind of stuff. It's just awesome. And then we have to add the little light there on her choker. There's actually a story behind that too.